Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. If you're somebody who's looking to get into architecture or just inquisitive in general, let me tell you all something. In this profession, it is a lot more than designing structures and interior spaces. There are so many responsibilities that an architect can shoulder, but we just don't know about it because either we're just starting out or we don't get to know about it until we get into the profession. A lot of you all throughout these 5 years of me creating architecture and design content have been asking me, why did you get into architecture? Is it a good profession or not? Do you regret it or not? Well, it's been some time only since I have started working. But well, in this video, let me share with you all the good, the bad, everything that I've experienced getting into this profession, and also some very important advice for beginners. Also stick around till the end because in this video, I will also be talking about some skills that can help you stand out and give you some high paying positions in the future. So without further wait, let's get started. I think I've already spoken about my initial journey of getting into architecture. I remember I was in 5th grade and one friend of mine, her mother is an interior designer and she has a firm, and I remember I saw her working on SketchUp. She was designing some interior space and I found it really interesting. It literally felt like Sims to me because that was a game I played a lot. And I think ever since then, I got really inquisitive about the field because there would always be those Home Lane brand ads where they would share those furniture pieces every day on Mumbai Mirror. And I would just keep those photo cutouts and building structures, photo cutouts, whatever I found interesting. I made a scrapbook that my father eventually threw. But yeah, that was something that actually intrigued me at first. I'd also strongly, considered being a journalist, but that was something that did not fall through. I eventually ended up convincing my parents that I should pursue something like architecture, which was quite tricky because none of my family members, even dur ke rishtedar, are architects. And it felt a little, scary because there's nobody who could help me eventually. And we've never heard about this profession. I mean, we have, but not really seen anybody in our close vicinity pursue this. And, I had to eventually convince my parents saying it is similar to civil engineering. This is engineering. It's just a different field. So don't worry, I'm actually doing engineering. So I had to convince them. Once you get into architecture college, you realize it's like a roller coaster. There are so many subjects that you have to learn. Like I said in the start of the video, architecture is not just about designing structures or interior spaces. You actually learn about a lot of the things that govern the fact that you are designing spaces for people, whether it is sustainability, it is bylaws, it is learning structures, the mathematics behind how the structures stand, photography, videography, everything. You're doing everything under the sun, all the late nights, early mornings, difficult juries, and, getting all the criticism, learning to take criticism and then putting it in the design, dissociating yourself from the fact that the design that you're working for 6 months is not your identity and you're a lot more than that. There's just so many things that you learn, and I'm so glad that I have documented all of this in vlogs, my 5 years experience, which you can actually look into it if you're interested. I'll link my college vlogs playlist in description. There is so much that you can learn, and there's so much that you can do after you actually properly realize that 5 years is not just about you becoming an architect, it is you preparing to be a designer. I just spoke about learning. There's just so much content online that you can consume that could really help you understand design concepts and in general what architecture is all about. As a student of architecture myself, I've consumed a lot of content, and I'll create a playlist or just link some videos in description and some books also which you can refer. I believe these things have really shaped my learning so well, and I'm so grateful to my professors who have suggested me these videos and books. So do check it out. The link would be in the description. It will help you a lot in understanding what this profession is all about. And if you're somebody who's already in college, this will just give you some great insights of being a designer. Now let us talk about working in architecture. It has been about more than 7 months since I have been working as an architect after graduation. That feels like a huge achievement. And I've also worked for around 5 months as an intern in a firm. So if you all don't know, in architecture, while you're doing your B.Arch, there's a certain time period during your 4th or 5th year where you have to compulsory, intern at an architecture firm. And on that basis, you will be creating a portfolio and then you'll have a jury. So that is something that the Council of Architecture makes you do that. So you actually learn what the profession is all about. And then regarding job placements after graduation, a lot of colleges might or might not give you direct placements. And then it all boils down to what is your network. Have you spoken to your professors, your seniors? Do you really know people in general in the industry that could help you get into your desirable firms? So that is something that is very important, and that is when you realize the power of LinkedIn, the power of cold mailing in general. This is something that I have experienced during my final years of architecture's college, and I could speak more about it. If you're interested, let me know. Then when you actually start working, you realize that traditional architecture colleges do not help you prepare for the industry standards, for what they actually require. A lot of skills like building information modeling, computational design is something that recruiters look into. They want their future architects to be proficient with coordination, with knowing new softwares, but that's something that one might or might not have learned during college. This is why I recently joined Novota's BIM course for architects in the cohort 20. Since I'd spoken to my seniors before regarding BIM and its workflows and about how important it is in a professional setup, I tried self-learning it, but I found it a bit overwhelming. BIM is not just about the software and its commands or Revit in general. It is a lot more than that. It is about learning workflows, about how really professionals use this for various huge projects. Novota's approach is different because they not just teach you how to use the software, they also teach you how to think like a BIM professional and how to collaborate on complex projects. They also connect you with various design professionals from all over the world who tell you about how huge projects are actually conducted. Novota provides hands-on experience with the RIBA and ISO standard international projects, helping you build a strong portfolio with live support and personalized progress reports. Whether you're a student, you're working in a firm, you're a freelancer, you can all look into this cohort if interested. Check out the link in the description to know more. Now let us talk about some advice for beginners. 3 pointers to keep in mind that are super important. The first one being, learn softwares as early as possible. Now I know sketching by hand is super important, and that is something that is taught just when you start off architecture college. There's a lot of emphasis on hand drafting, but it is also important that you learn softwares as early as possible. It comes in handy. Start with AutoCAD, SketchUp, and then branch into Revit, 3ds Max, or Rhino or Grasshopper. Familiarize yourself with everything, and these things do help you in your design workflow. Second tip would be to build a strong portfolio, a portfolio that covers all of your star projects. Let me tell you all one thing. Your marks are important, but you know what is also important? Your design portfolio. I don't think so far I have had a lot of people asking about how much I scored in my last exam, but everyone looks into my portfolio and tells me why have I done this, that this is a good project, you could have done better in this. I just think portfolio is a look into your professional mindset, into what you can do as a designer. So do make sure that your portfolio is something that you've done your best on, because that is the first thing people judge you on. My third tip would be to get professional experience even when you're in college. Okay, hear me out. We all have that compulsory internship time where we all are interning. So everybody is going to do that. But what more than that have you done? More than college have you done? Whether you are interning in a small interior design firm, or you're assisting your professors, or you're conducting some research, or you're actually doing some writing work, or some graphic designing work. There's so much that you can do as an architect, which is not just, restricting yourself to being an architect. There's so much that you can do as a designer. Take up a lot of job roles while you are in college, and do not base it on what stipend you're getting. Get the experience, and that really helps you that eventually, understand what kind of a job role that you would like to do after graduation, or really help you just build your portfolio after graduation when you're applying for jobs. This is all about my experience in architecture as a student and now working as an architect. If you're somebody who's still questioning is architecture for you, let me ask you all a few questions that could help you understand if you would like to get into this profession or not. The first question that you can ask yourself, if you're still curious is architecture for you or not, is do you like solving problems? Above all those fancy words of design thinking and this and that, architecture is about solving problems, about solving your clients' problems. So think about the last time you actually were solving problems and having fun with it. Do you like solving puzzles, or do you like helping your parents around in the house where there's a small problem that you're just helping them with, whether it is setting up the furniture around or, just simple real life problems? Are you interested in doing that? And then if you could look into some videos and books that I have provided in the description, that could actually give you some insight on what kind of design problems that we're talking about. And then that could maybe help you understand what architecture is about and is it for you or not. The second question that you can ask yourself is, are you comfortable with learning softwares or technology in general? A lot of people might or might not like working with softwares. So if you're somebody who actually loves working on computer or something, well, architecture is a lot about that. There is a lot of traveling, a lot of, real life experience, but there's a lot of sitting behind the PC and drafting also. So that is something that you have to look forward to if you're getting into this profession. The third question that you can ask yourself is, are you willing to work on projects that could take months or even years? Now, this is something that even maybe people like us who have just graduated might also not be prepared for. Academic projects work very fast, whereas actually when you get into the profession, you realize that projects take a lot of time. A lot of the days you're only, talking about the same problem, and it might take months to solve that. So you need to have that patience. And if you are willing to do that, maybe just sit and question yourself, look into some projects. And if your answer is yes, then maybe architecture is for you. Or maybe that could be something you could look into if you're interested. Like I just mentioned in the start, architecture is not just about designing buildings. You can end up being an architecture journalist, a computational designer, a design critic. So there's so much more that you can do. Well, this is going to be it for this video. I hope I could give you all a good insight on what this field is all about. I've spoken about a lot of things, whether you are interested in getting into architecture, if you are already in the field, what skills do you require. I hope this could be of some help. If you're interested in Novatas BIM course and want to join me on this journey, you can check out the link in the description. And well, I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye!